Good morning, everybody. Today I want to look at something that I think gets overlooked a lot of times when it comes to the story of Jesus' crucifixion, death, burial, and resurrection. And that's what happens while Jesus is in the tomb. And we talk a lot about how Jesus suffered on the cross and how he was resurrected and continued in his ministry and gave us the Great Commission after he rose from the dead. But what was happening behind the scenes on Saturday when he was in the tomb? And that's what I want to look at today. So we're going to start in Matthew 27 and verse 57. And it's titled The Burial of Jesus. When it was evening, a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph came, who himself had also become a disciple of Jesus. He approached Pilate and asked for Jesus' body. Then Pilate ordered that it be released. So Joseph took the body, wrapped it in clean fine linen, and placed it in his new tomb, which he had cut out into the rock. He left after rolling a great stone against the entrance of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were seated there facing the tomb. The next day, which followed the preparation day, the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered before Pilate and said, "Sir, we remember that while this deceiver was still alive, he said, 'After 3 days I will rise again.' So give orders that the tomb be made secure until the 3rd day. Otherwise his disciples may come, steal him, and tell the people, 'He has been raised from the dead,' and the last deception will be worse than the first." "You have a guard of soldiers," Pilate told them. "Go and make it as secure as you know how." They went and secured the tomb by setting a seal on the stone and placing the guard. So here we see Joseph of Arimathea, who has taken it upon himself to ask for Jesus' body and has placed him in his own tomb. And then we see the next day that the chief priests and Pharisees went to Pilate and were so worried that Jesus' followers were going to come and steal the body that they made sure that they were able to secure the tomb and make sure that nobody got in to steal the body. And, it's easy to look back 2,000 some years later and say, "Oh, how dare they?" But what are we doing every day in our lives and following after Jesus? Where are we placing Jesus in the tomb and trying to seal it up as best as we possibly can and keep that separate from the rest of our lives? What are we hiding from everybody that says, "You know what? This is a part of my life that nobody needs to know about. I'm going to seal it up and make sure nobody ever sees it, hears about it, and we're going to move on with life." I think that's a perfect example of what's happening here. Now, true, they were trying to keep the prophecy from coming true of Jesus being resurrected from the dead, and we know that he was. And that's what we're building this anticipation to celebrating on Easter Sunday. But how many times do we put Jesus in our life in a tomb or off to the side? We're doing the exact same thing. And it can be as simple as ignoring being obedient. Or it can be as blatant as looking God in the face and saying, "You're not going to have this part of my life." Both accomplish the same thing. And I'm here to tell you that when we stop keeping Jesus in the tomb of our life, when we allow him to be the Lord of our life and be the forefront and people see that, we have mighty change potential. So I want to encourage you today Stop keeping Jesus in the tomb. Stop putting a part of your life away from Jesus and say, no, you can't have that. I'm protecting that. That's mine. Give it all to Him. And He will make your life shine. You guys have a great day.